We thank you so much. In the office, the screen looks amazing. It's beautiful. It's perfect. I cannot for the life of me figure out how to make it work. But I mean, you guys can see, obviously the main screen right here is this, and you can see my little slides on the side, and you can see all my annotations at top. That's just the way it goes. I've tried every button. I've played with this. I thought I had it figured out. I don't. So
Gary, can I interrupt you for a second?
What's
down
that?
at the can I interrupt you for a second? Down at the bottom on the right, did
Yep.
you try those buttons? Slideshow. No, you don't want slideshow. Go to the left. I don't know what is that one?
Doesn't say anything. That's what I was.
Yeah, interesting. Okay, never mind. It doesn't matter. We can see.
Got it. All right. So Kelly told you guys I had something on my sleeve, and so here it is. I made it all up 10 minutes ago. I didn't know what to talk about. So I came up with something. Just kidding. I've actually been thinking about this for a while, and where we're at in today's market, we've got to think of every single thing, every single possible solution to get as many deals as we can, whether that's the listing side, whether it's the buying side. There are properties out there that have to be sold. There are buyers that need to buy, and there are sellers that are going to have to sell for one reason or another. So what we got to do is figure out how to win the listing. And so you guys got to be better than the next agent. That really is good. It's going to come down to, you've got to have something that sets you apart. And within the EXP, we have several different classes, courses, training that you can get and learn, and something that sets you apart. And so I know you guys may think that not everybody out there wants a cash offer, especially because Redfin, OfferPad, and Open Door aren't really offering those crazy, insane 10% over list price, or 10% over market value. There are still people out there that will need a cash offer. We were in accountability on Monday, I think it was a week and a half ago. And there is a couple going through divorce, and the husband was so frantic. He believed the market was going to absolutely just crash. So he got a cash offer of like $650 on their house in Roseville. And he had already signed the paperwork to get the appointment to have him come out to the house. Now, keep in mind, he does no longer live in the house. The wife lives in the house. So this is the kind of end portion of their divorce, and I'm not trying to tell everybody's whole business, but he scheduled the appointment with the wife, and Open Door or whoever it was coming out to the property, $650 with like $40,000 or $50,000 in fees, which was going to net them $600,000 minus whatever their loan is. Obviously gives them an equity position of X, whatever that number is for them. She said, all right, fine. If that guy's coming out, or this person or this company's coming out, I want to make sure I have one of my people come out. So she happens to be very good friends with Audrey Cheek. Audrey went out and said, your house is in great shape and it's worth $725. And yes, even if it's 6% commission, which is about $40,000 to $50,000 commissions, closing costs, everything, I'm still going to probably net you $50,000 to $75,000 more than what those guys are going to offer. So just so you guys understand, oftentimes, yes, those people do come in very low. They have those costs and fees, but not every agent, not every broker has all the information we do. So we have what's called express offers, and that is a cash offer from our investor group. Within EXP, they have groups of people that are buying for rentals. They have groups that are buying for flips. They have all these different scenarios, and we have access to tie into all of that. You must go through the cash offers or express offers certification. I have done that. I know a couple other people have as well. It is kind of lengthy. It's a little slow and detailed, but I would highly recommend you guys take, a couple hours a week, late at night while you're watching TV and scroll through it, flip through it, get that certification. So at least you have it. What it allows you to do is set you up as different from everybody else, right? Coldwell Banker or Remax, they don't have a cash offer something, right? And it may just be a hook that you have that sets you apart from the other guy. It's something in your listing presentation that you can say, have you thought of a cash offer? And they're like, well, no, I thought those didn't really exist anymore, or they're going to be these super lowball offers. And I say, you know what? It doesn't cost you anything for me to list your property. I'll take an exclusive listing for 3, 4, 5 days, and I will bring you an offer that has 1, 2, 3, whatever it is. And if you don't like those offers and you're not happy with what we perform, we can easily remove those offers and we'll go live on the market with a, a value that's more proper according to my CMA. All it does is give you a hook. It gives you an opportunity to be in front of those people, right? Another thing we have is we have Curbio. Now, Curbio is a third-party company. It is not part of EXP, but it is something that EXP pushes. I presented this to a client. I know Brendan Moore has used it. Tony Gallegos has used it. The fees are a little bit on the high side, but it is another thing. If you go to a client and they are avocado green countertops and linoleum, or, hey, it was grandma's house and, we loved her and she lived in this and she never upgraded anything. Well, you could easily say, if I try and sell this as is, I'm going to sell it as a fixer and needs a roof and it needs all these other things. You could easily say, we can look for the cash offer scenario for someone that's going to flip it. Or what if I could get you someone to come in, give us a full-blown estimate on what it will cost to rehab the house. I will do a CMA for an as is and a CMA for an as repaired. And if the cost from Curbio is say $100,000, but we can get you from 300 to 500, that's a $200,000 difference. And it's going to cost you 100,000. And there's no money out of pocket. They collect at close. All you are doing is saying, I have something different. I am better than the next guy, better than the next gal. It's just something that you guys can put in front of them and say, here is what we have. Here's what we offer. Here's something that sets us apart. And you guys have access to all that because you're EXP. Curbio does not require any kind of coaching, licensing, anything. You just go to their website and put in the property address and say, here it is. I did a video walkthrough, gave them a list of items. I want to say it was 72 hours and we had a full-blown report. My client was like, nope, it's a little too much money. I don't think it's worth it. It was about 22,000 and we were going to get about 40,000 more in value. And she said, no, I'll just hire somebody to paint it and do new flooring. We ended up getting, 30,000 anyways. So just something to think about. But like I said, it's something that sets you apart. The other thing, this is on you guys as agents. This is not something you can go and check box or show what's going on. Additional things that we have, you have got to be able to set the right expectation for your clients. All of us as agents, we are out there trying to sell properties. And I know you guys see this. You see properties every single day that are sitting 180 days on the market. They are crappy pictures. They are not staged. They're not remodeled. They have repairs that are necessary. There's all these things that they have that makes them sit on the market. Some of that is the expectation set by the agent. So it is up to you guys to set the right expectation. How you market that property, how you have that discussion, to be frank with someone and say, listen, I'm not here to blow smoke. I'm not here to, I'm not going to just tell you a value because I want this listing. My goal is not to just put this house on the market to have it be a marketing piece. My goal is to close this house and sell this house for you. So I want to set the right expectations up front. And I'm going to give you guys a script real quick. One of the things that I say, and I stole it from somebody at EXP, I told you guys this before, EXP is all about R&D, not research and development. It's rip off and duplicate. Kyle Whistle is an agent out of San Diego. He's a big multi-million-dollar producer. Actually, he's probably a multi-billion-dollar producer selling multi-million-dollar homes. But he says this to all of his clients, and I heard it because I watched their coaching, so I can bring stuff back to you guys. And it was, I tell my clients, we should receive 2 to 3 showings a week. And by the time we have 10 showings, there should be offers in our inbox. So if I put a property on the market and I get 2 to 3 showings, but no offers for the first 2-3 weeks, I know I now have 6 to 8 showings with no offer. I already set the expectation. That shows me that the price is not right, because I'm going to call every single agent that shows the property and say, give me some feedback. We all have the access through showing time to put automatic feedback requests. You can tie it to the lockbox where it sends an autoresponder to them and says, what'd you think of the property? What'd you think of what it looked like, what the value was, what it's like in the market? Does your client have any interest? That is an autoresponder that everyone can set up attached to the lockbox or attached to showing time, just so you know. And then he says, I know that my marketing is proven. I've been doing this for X years. I've sold X number of homes. So if that is the case, 6, 8, 10 showings and no offers, we need to already have the discussion. It's time to lower price. And that's the reason a lot of properties are sitting in the market now, is because the agents are either too afraid, they're worried they're going to lose the listing, which, I mean, you're really it's just sitting there. It's not doing you any good. And just so you guys think through this, your goal is to sell properties. And when you have properties that sit on the market, 180, 150, whatever it is, that actually shows your inability to have frank discussions with your clients. And it also shows that your marketing is not working. And it may not be your marketing. It could be your seller is like, nope, here's the number I want. And if I don't get this number, I would tell you guys to walk away from those listings. If they're not going to be, amenable to having a discussion with you and have you walk through the process with them, you guys need to be, prepared to walk away from those, because you're spending your time on something that's not really doing any good. And in the end, it could be detrimental to you. All right. Any questions so far? All right. So in today's market, you got to set yourself apart from the rest. There are several different ways to set yourself apart. You need a system, a set plan that sets you apart from all the others. And then it needs to be something that you do that every listing, no matter the price point. So when we talk about marketing, you guys should always be doing professional photography. You should always be offering staging. You should have a set plan that this is what I do, whether it's a $150,000 condo, it's $1 million property. Man, when you get to $1 million properties, you probably need to do a little extra, but you should have that basics. I remember when we did a lot of short sales and REOs, it was pictures with your phone, no big deal. I want to market myself. I want to show every seller that I'm working with and every seller that's interested in what I'm going to do for them. I want them to be able to look back at my past listings and say, look at how beautiful those photos are on every single listing. He always does staging. I want everything to look beautiful. And it's something you are setting yourself up for the future. All right. You can always talk to them. Like I said, we talked about cash offers. I kind of went into the details on it. And like I said, you have to get that certification through EXP. And then the cool thing is when you get the cash offer, it comes in a grid like this and you will get multiple buyers. You may only get 1 or 2, but sometimes there's as many as 3 or 4. It gives you an offer price. It gives you the fees, gives you the terms, and it gives you the net at close. This is a super easy platform or sheet of paper that you're going to be able to provide to your clients and say, here it is. I have 3 buyers, 2 buyers, 4 buyers, whatever it is. Here it is. Here's your cash offers. Are any of these of interest to you? Stacy, am I that boring? Sorry, had to do it.
I tried to hide it.
Okay. So this is just a quote that I found from Walt Disney the other day. It kind of stuck with me. The way to get started is to quit talking and begin doing. You guys, for those of you that don't have a listing appointment today, you should be formulating your listing presentation. This is something I don't think a lot of agents think of. Is they're like, well, I don't really have much to do today, so I'm gonna, clean the house. I'm gonna bake a lasagna. I'm gonna go golf. For when I have no work, I go play golf. You all have something to do. Unless you have a listing presentation, a buyer presentation, your website's on point, your CRM is dialed in. If you do not have all those things dialed in, when you have a break, an hour, time of I'm not showing property, you should be formulating your plans, your foundation, your scripts for your properties. So you got to quit talking about it and thinking, oh, I'm going to do that next time I get a listing. No, it needs to be done now so that when you get that listing, it is prepared and ready to go. All right, so Curbio. This is a breakdown of how Curbio works. You tell them about the project. What do you think the best items to repair are? You guys as agents have the ability to walk through with your clients and say, I would recommend granite countertops. I would paint the cabinets. I would put a new roof on. Someone needs to be muted. Molly Brady, mute yourself. Tell them about the project, walk through the pieces. Like I said, I did a video for mine. I just did a walkthrough. It was like 8 minutes long. And then I sent a quick little email with my video that said, I would recommend, all new flooring, paint, some electrical repairs, blah, 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 some landscaping, and remodel of the master bath because it was kind of a funky thing. And that's what they came back with, right? So you get a same day estimate. So take the video, send the property thing. They're going to give you kind of a snapshot of their estimate, but it really 72 hours. You got to give them some time. They say they'll get it immediately because you do the video. But like I said, 72 hours is what I would really say. And then you got to describe to your clients. You receive the bid from Curbio and they say, is this of interest to you? You say, yes. It's a little bit more than I anticipated, but that $40,000 is going to reap me 60,000 net. Then you sign the contract and realize you do not have to pay. The client, the seller does not have to pay at that point. It comes at closing. Now, keep in mind, for you guys as agents, this is an extra thing that you offer. You should not be discounting yourself as listing agents. Oh, I'm going to do it for 1%. You should not be doing that. You are offering extra value. You should be asking for a full 6%. And now you should be getting even higher because that property is now valued higher. So you should be getting more money in your pocket. Do not discount yourselves. Do not try and compete with the agent that's a 1%er. It's not worth it. You guys are worth so much more. I wish I learned that earlier in my career. My little 2 cents there. Anyways, then you go out and meet the project manager. You and the seller, you may offer, hey, seller, I'm charging 6%. I'm going to get you guys this much more money. I'm going to handle the project management portion. They may be out of area. They may be older. You guys can step in, offer that extra level of service to be able to watch the project, take pictures, video, share it with your client if they're out of area. And so they're going to walk through all the timelines and they're going to tell you, hey, we're 6 weeks out, we're 7 weeks out, 8 weeks out, whatever it is to build the project to complete it. And then work's completed. Project manager, you said if you're not in the day-to-day stuff, says, hey, we're all done, we're ready to go. You list the house, Curbio puts an invoice into your escrow company, and they are paid at close. Kelly has a question. What do you got?
Is there value in getting the listing agreement ahead of time with a delayed market date when you're going through doing all of this so that they don't turn around and list with someone else?
All right, excellent question. If you guys can't hear, Kelly's question was, should you get the listing agreement signed earlier? Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Do an, what do you call it? SCLM?
SCLM.
Yeah, SELM. That means you're going to list the property in 60 days, 90 days, whatever. 100%. If you guys are going through this much work, express offers, I have them sign a listing agreement for a week and I say, least let me bring you a cash offer. If these cash offers don't work, my listing dies, right? And I'm just trying to get my foot in the door. But for Curbio, 100%. If you are spending this much time and effort, you should 100% have a listing signed. And it should probably be like a 9-month listing because you're going to have 2-ish months of repairs depending on what's being done to the property so that you get a full 6 months to list that property. And yes, I'm telling you guys, take 6-month listings, especially for something like Curbio, especially when you hear your clients, really concerned about value and you say, this is how we're going to do it. And they say, well, I want to start just a little bit higher. And you say, I'm willing to push your value a little bit, but please understand, like we're having this discussion now. If I'm going to put in this much effort, I want you to be committed to me. I would be signing 6-month listings. And like I said, for Curbio, I'd be extending it for however much longer the work is. So just that's what I would say on that piece. Any questions on Curbio? Kelly has another one.
So there's a couple of gals who do TV flip kind of thing. And what they do is they kind of reminds me of Curbio. They'll put up some money to get the place fixed up, and
Yep.
their arrangement, their agreement with the seller is anything beyond what the current value is, they split the profits 50-50. Can you do that with the Curbio thing?
All right. So that's actually a very good question. It's very detailed. And not many agents would think to do that. So did you guys all hear Kelly's question? I'm going to go with a no. So Kelly's question was, there are some people doing flips on TV that say, hey, I'm going to put the money into your property and we're going to sell your house at 500,000. But anything that goes above 500,000, if we get 550, we split the profits or the larger gain at a percentage. That is actually called a net listing agreement. I haven't seen that agreement used in a long time. It can be done. You would have to specifically say to your clients, this is why we're doing this. This is all the work and effort I'm putting in. In my opinion, you're not putting forward the money. So I don't see why they would see the value. The listing person, the seller would see the value in it. But I could easily say, see you saying, I want a 7% listing agreement and keeping 4.5 and only offering 2.5 to the buy side for all of the extra work you're putting in. You can absolutely, if you're a great negotiator, you can try and get that extra spread. When we used to do our smart money, we did that. We got paid back our investment, and then we got a percentage of the profits. Ours was like 25 to 30% usually. We didn't go as high as 50, but for TV, they can go 50, and it's always amazing what they can get extra, right? So it can be done. I'm not saying it's illegal. You just have to be very, very good at what you're doing and how your pitch is, what your scripts are, and showing what your value is. So if you're showing that this is my value and I can help you, a lot of times that's called a joint venture. You'll see that people that do flips, they'll bring in somebody that comes in and does the work, and they'll share the profits with the contractor. So it's called a joint venture oftentimes when you're doing flip world. So, all right, marketing and scripts. This is what you're going to do to set yourself apart. So your marketing is who you are, what you are. What is your value? What do you do differently? We talked about it. We have the cash offers. We've got Curbio. Those are two things that I'm just showing you guys that you could utilize, but you could do something different. If you guys have ever seen Krista Mayshore, we did a 3-day training here in the office. She has a pretty amazing listing presentation. I'm not going to get into all the details of it, but I've stolen something from her. Again, rip off and duplicate. So when I meet someone that's asking for a CMA, or if they've kind of just inquired a little bit, I send a video text message, like literally I'm on my phone, text message, video. Hey, it's Gary. I'm sending you this information. Please look for it in your email. I then do a CMA for them on Cloud CMA. You could use KV Core. There is RPR. There's lots of different ways depending on how pretty, how detailed, how much information you want to get out to that client. But what I do is I create a video. I do a Zoom call. I share my screen with my market analysis, and I walk through the CMA with them. I give them a video to describe the properties. I talk to them about being at their property. If I've seen the other properties. I did a CMA the other day for somebody in Grass Valley. Cheryl Hansen happened to sell one within a mile, and it happened to be one of the comps. And I told him, I know all about this property because somebody in my office sold it. So now I'm using anything I can to add my familiarity, but they're seeing my face. They're hearing my voice. I'm doing something that sets me apart and makes me different from everybody else. So find out what your listing presentation platform, whatever it is, looks like, create it and stick to it for every single person. It will set you apart, and you will grab someone's attention and they'll say, check out this video this realtor did for me. And they will then share that and say, has anybody ever done this for you? I guarantee you no other agent that I'm aware of is doing anything like that. So same thing with when you're making offers. I send a video to the listing agent. Hey, I'm sending my offer. Here's the highlights. Here's the bullet points. My clients love this property. It's in a text message. Then the offer comes over with the bullet points on and everything attached. So I am trying to use video for every single thing I possibly can, because people are getting to hear my voice. They're getting to see my face, as pretty as I am. So that's little things that you guys can do to make yourself different. Kelly, you're just winning today.
Yeah, we won here, so of course I'm gonna win. So with your email, when you send it, could you also embed your little video, your introduction that says, hey, my clients, blah, 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 the same one that you.
I could do the same video. Yes, correct. Yep.
Embed it and here's your offer.
Yep. 100%.
That'd be cool.
It is all completely available to do that. Oh, Cheryl raised her hand also. What you got, Miss Cheryl?
So back to that home in Grass Valley. So was this a video that you did as you were at the property meeting with them, or
no? So
again about that video.
So the one I did in Grass Valley, I got a lead from one of my lead companies like 6 months ago. I've been staying in touch with this guy, and he's like, I'm not doing anything until the weather lets up. So last time we had a little break in the weather, I talked to him. I sent him a message, just checking in. How you doing? Everything's good. Just kind of waiting for the weather to come. So yesterday, when it was all sunny and I saw like sun coming out for the next week, I sent him a message and it said, hey, looks like spring is in the air. I got buyers looking. Here's the information. So my video was me with a quick intro, just to remind him who I am, name, voice, picture, and hearing me. The video was me doing a Zoom of myself, and I was sharing my screen, walking him through the CMA. I was walking him through what my marketing is, that my wife and I work together, my information, and then all the properties. And I walked him through the listings and the closes, and I talked about why it was better or worse than his house in detail. The one I did a video of me walking around the house was actually another listing or a lead I got from one of my systems. And the guy's in like Santa Rosa and he never goes to the property. It's up in Somerset. So I was like, I'm going to go to the house. So the snow had just melted. So we went and did a video of the house and told him, hey, you got windows open. And I just sent him that video and said, we went to the property for you. I'm just showing I did something extra. No other agent has gone to that property and looked at it and tried to share with him. And then I did a second video, which was the CMA breakdown of why his property is better or the other properties are better than his and what I believe the value to be.
Okay, so you hadn't really seen the other properties in the CMA that you were comparing. You were just going through the data with him.
Correct.
On your video.
So what I did look at every single property. I looked at all the inside. So there's the one in Somerset, there's a bank repo listed and it's got tenants in it and it's listed like 100,000 less than everything else in the neighborhood. But I described to him, hey, I know this company. They always sell their properties with the tenant in place. It's totally dilapidated. You know, this has been on the market for 180 days. They started at 381. They're down to 275. I mean, I knew my information. So when I spoke, I wasn't just reading off the page. I could give details. That's why I knew that you had that listing you sold on You Bet. And I said, Cheryl is in my office. She sold this property because I remember the other agent that was on the other side.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, I remembered that property. Even though I had never been to it, I described it that one of my team members had sold that property. So I was showing that we're in the area selling properties. I'm trying to show familiarity that we're in the areas.
Okay, super.
Okay.
Thank you.
Cool. Of course. All right. So what are different things or what are things that you do differently? Have you mastered social media? Are you going to pay for ads? Because the sign in the yard, putting an MLS and holding open houses is just not enough in today's market. It really isn't. You guys have got to set yourself apart. You've got to be differential. So you should, your first script, sorry, that was marketing to the right side scripts. Your first script should be all about how you are going to market the home, what sets you apart. Talking about the cash offers, talking about Curbio, if you're a social media master, or if you are going to, you know, call every top agent, or you might say, listen, I know this area very well because I live here. Or you might say, listen, I've already called every agent that has closed a deal in this area in the last 6 months to see who else has buyers in this area. Or you could easily say, hey, you know what? I've already had my title company pull the list of every renter within a mile, and I've got names and phone numbers and emails. And I'm going to call all those renters and see if they'd be interested in buying your house. Do something that sets you apart. Show how you're going to market their home and set them apart differently. I'm going to use Mongo flyer and blast it to the Bay Area because I believe Bay Area buyers going to buy your house. Whatever your thing is, talk about how you're going to market the home. Client doesn't care about you. They're not trying to hear, I'm a special agent. I've been here for 20 years. I'm a this, I'm a that. It's all about how you can help them get their house ready. Professional photography, staging, getting it cleaned up, whatever it is. Video, drone, if you're out on acreage, like Cheryl sells a lot of acreage, I will be doing drone footage on anything that had horse property or, you know, land that had just, you know, all these beautiful trees on it. I would be using drone footage and I would state that as part of my value offer. All right. So we talked about this also, set the expectations. Tell them your strategies and why you use it. Now, you guys can have multiple strategies. I'm a huge fan of, I like to list 3 to 5% under market. I want you to be the least expensive house in the neighborhood. And I want to drive multiple offers so that we have a bidding war, because I believe that that drives the value up higher than starting high and going, let's negotiate lower and trying to find that one offer. I tell my clients, I want you in the driver's seat. When we have 6, 8, 10 offers, you're in the driver's seat. You can pick an offer that's the highest or pick an offer that has the best terms. You get to make that decision. I also tell my clients, I do all my home and pest inspections up front. I don't want anybody coming back to us at day 17 and saying, I want to negotiate a $5,000 credit because we found a crack in the tile in the master bathroom. Nope, you guys knew about that. Everything was done up front. There again, my client, my seller is in the driver's seat. I pitch it that way. And if I start to get kickback, then I say, hey, listen, I understand where you're coming from. And I will pivot a little bit and I'll say, you know what? I think the market is shifting right now, which we obviously know it's starting to heat up. It's starting to thaw out, whatever you want to call it. And there's multiple offers on properties. I might say, you know what? I'd be willing to start a little higher, closer to that number you like. But then I'd go back to the strategy of, we got to have 2 to 3 showings a week. And if we don't get those showings and we don't have our offer in the first 10 showings, then I will know that that price is wrong and we will need to have a discussion to start to bring that down. So I will pivot. And like I said, you can have multiple strategies on how to do things, but you got to be able to have those strategies and you got to know them in the back of your head, not like, oh, well, I plan to try this, or I'm going to do something, or, you know, however you position it. I'd say, this is my strategy. This is the way I like to do it. And if they balk at it or they're just not having it, I'll pivot and adjust and say, well, here's another strategy. It's not my favorite strategy to use, but if that's what you like, let's start where you want to start. I mean, if they're off their rocker and they're 300,000 over, obviously we have a different discussion, but I'm prepared with those scripts. I'm prepared with those discussion points. What questions do you guys have? We are just about done. Nothing? All you beautiful people out there in Zoom land and nothing. All right, fine. I guess I either described it too well or I put you all to sleep. One of the two. Sorry, I had an extra slide in there. That's not what I wanted. So every opportunity you have out there in the world of real estate, you should have a plan. You should have something that sets you apart. What is it that you do that makes you different? So those are what you guys got to figure out. Those are the plans. Like I said, everybody's got something different, and do not try and create something from scratch. If you are trying to find a listing presentation, a buyer presentation, how to do social media, go out and watch YouTube, sign up for some free webinars about that niche. Go out and look for Facebook groups about people that do YouTube or social media or whatever it is. Learn from them. Gather as much information as you can. Take little pieces from this, that, and the other, and formulate your plan on what it is. And then have it set that you have this thing, because that sets you so far above everybody else. It really does. So you guys are already awesome as it is. This is going to make you awesomer. That's all I got for you guys today. Thank you for being here. Appreciate you all. Time to wake up.
Well, I like being awesomer.
All right. You guys in Zoom land, we love you. Thank you for being here. Unfortunately for you, Kelly is the only one that has a chance to win. And I just bought all new gift cards today. New Amazon, new Starbucks, new Cheesecake Factory. You got to come in live and in person to win.
Oh, I didn't see that caveat.
Have a great day, everyone. And if you guys ever want to look back at this, you guys all know that we record these and Kelly puts them out in the Friday newsletter. So if you have a friend, obviously another agent with us here, and you say, hey, you got to go back and check out how amazing Gary was. He just killed it. You got to go back and show them, tell them to look at the Friday newsletter from Constant Contact, click on trainings. At the top, it has my little message to the group, and then this week's training, but then under the trainings tab is all of the trainings we do back probably 3 or 4 years-ish. So you guys have the opportunity to watch them again later. Thank you guys. Bye.
Bye.